Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Gemini Twin Ascension. I realize it's been a little bit since I did a video, and yeah, my other phone's messaging notifying me that I'm going live because I follow this account on my private account that I use. But it's been a while. Um, things are kind of have been kind of hectic due to the holidays. I mean, if you celebrate Merry Late Christmas, whatever. It's been crazy hectic. I do have 5 kids, so running around trying to finish everything off with that, and then family time, and we'll get into that in a minute. But the first thing I want to talk about is something that happened last earlier this week or last week. My days are running together now. I guess you could say I had my first instance of a lost friend due to this process. Very close friend of mine, somebody I considered one of my best friends. Um, we had talked, off and on last week a little bit, and um, I'm not quite sure exactly what triggered it, but um, I told her some of the things that have been going on with the karmic, how there have been no sex since August, my personal choice because I didn't want that. I've been distancing myself from him. She made a comment. She said, "Well, why don't you just leave? Distancing yourself is only going to serve to make him matter." Which I see that side of it. But then the next thing I know, she's attacking me because she says she says basically since I met my twin, but more so over this past year, I've turned into a self-centered bitch. Um, I'm not quite sure, honestly, where it's coming from because, yeah, granted, me and her have not talked a whole lot, you know, in the past few months, but I've known her for the better part of, you know, over a decade now. I've known her since my 7-year-old was a toddler. And there have been times where we would go, months without talking, but then we'd start talking again, pick up right, you know, back where we left off. But she said, quite honestly, if I would have met you now, the way you are now, we wouldn't be friends. And yeah, it hurt. And I explained to her, I said, you know my situation. You know I got married at a young age. Didn't really have time to, find out who I was outside of being my parents' daughter and then, a wife and a mother. I'm working on figuring out exactly who I am. And she said, well, I've always known you as you, not as the karmic's wife. She said, and you're always going to be a mother. She said, that's never going to change. And then she started, on the fact saying that I pushed her away, one of the few friends that has always been there for me. And I didn't push her away. It's like I said, it was just the nature of our friendship. We'd talk and talk and talk, and then we'd go for a while without talking because things got hectic. No, Bradley. And I I'm honestly at the point right now where I want to message her daughter and ask her daughter if there's something else going on that she's maybe not telling me that maybe I missed because most of our interactions were on Facebook. I haven't been on Facebook as much, you know. most of the posts that, if you are a personal friend of mine, most of the posts that you see on my Facebook are cross posted from my Instagram. Yeah. So I really haven't been as much of a presence on Facebook. So maybe there was something that I missed that she's been going through. I don't know, but she made a comment. She said, "Well, go find yourself, and then when you find yourself, you can go fuck yourself." And then she blocked. I don't. I'm still scratching my head over all of it, honestly. And that night, after she said that, I laid here and cried for a while because it hurt. I mean, she didn't really give me a chance to, explain a lot of what's going on. Yes, she knows some of it, but she doesn't understand all of what's been going on with me. And it's honestly, if you're not on this journey, it's really hard to explain to somebody and for them to understand what's going on. So it's just I'm still scratching my head over it. You know, after she blocked me on Facebook, I sent her a one final text message, and I told her, I said it was never my intention to make you feel that way. I said I'm sorry, and I don't know what else I could do. I feel bad, I really do. But like I said, there's just certain things about what's going on with me right now that if you're not on this journey yourself, you're not. It's hard to explain to somebody. Even when I try to talk to my sister about it, um, I know she doesn't completely understand all of it. She's learning. She's learned quite a bit in the past year or so, I guess. I explain a little bit to her, but she's finally getting to where she is, wanting to learn more, and she'll come to me and she'll ask me questions, and I'll explain it the best I can, or I will give her a reference to a website that I've come across that's helped me understand things, or Facebook pages or whatever, just to help her. But I don't get the feeling that this friend wanted that kind of understanding, and trying to explain everything to her. It just I don't know how I could, and it hurts. It really does. But I'm trying to understand that there are people in our lives that are going to be falling away because, the path that we're taking is not a path that they're going to be on as well. So they're going to be falling away, and yeah, it hurts. And I still love her. I wish nothing for the best for her. I hold no malice, no hate, no nothing in my heart for her. I went up there when her daughter got married. I photographed her daughter's wedding. I was supposed to go up there when her grandson was born and do newborn pictures for him. The karmic prevented me from doing that, knowing I had plans. And then all of a sudden he said, "Well, I'm not fucking paying for that trip." So I didn't get to go up there. Then, yeah, I went up there, you know, a couple of months later to meet the baby and to spend some time with her. But I just, I don't know if there's something else going on with her. I just really don't know. I'm going to give her space because I do know that she's not with me, but she's done this with other friends as well. She'll get upset and she'll take a step back, and then they'll start they'll start speaking again. So I don't know if that's what she's doing. I'm going to give her the space. I'm not going to push. I posted, I told her I was sorry. I even posted a public apology on my or on my Facebook. So, if she, because I'm still friends with her daughter on Facebook. Actually, I think all of her kids. So if she wants to, she can always get on her daughters and look. So I posted a public apology to her. It was not my intention to make her feel, left out or pushed away or any of that. It was just certain things I was going through I could not talk to her about. And so that that's that. There are going to be people that are going to be falling away in your life, and it's going to hurt. And maybe somewhere down the line they will come back into your life, but for the time being, Spirit saying this is not a person you need in your life. And I've got to come to terms with that. I mean, I don't want that. Like I said, I consider her one of my best friends. I've told her things that very few other people know, but I'm gonna give her space and leave it at that. You know, I I'm kind of glad there's honestly nobody on here right now. I know there's a few people that'll watch it later because I really don't have a whole lot of energy to interact because the holidays have left me drained. I had Christmas Eve was wonderful. I had all five of my kids and my older three, girlfriend, fiance, whatever. All of them were with us for, Christmas Eve. I spent some time with my mama, with my mom. It was great. I can't say other than the karmic. I mean, he was, mm, I could handle him that night, honestly. He wasn't being a complete douche. That's the only thing I can think to say on that one. I mean, I could deal with him. We get home that night, we still have one that believes in Santa Claus. And I was asking him, to wait up with us to help, set everything out, set everything up. He kept falling asleep, which I know he had to work the night before, and I knew he was tired, but he always helped set everything up. This year he fell asleep in my 17-year-old played Santa this year, put everything out, and that just really irritated me that it was something we always did together. And I guess that's just one of the things, Spirit's way of helping me learn to do things outing. Um, and then Christmas morning, all the kids came back over. My 17-year-old girlfriend couldn't be over because she had to, she was spending time with her family, but the rest of them come over. My daughter and her fiance, my oldest son and his girlfriend, we were all over here, opening presents, everything. It was my youngest son. He, I love watching him. He gets so excited. And then ugh, I had to spend the rest of Christmas Day at the Carmic's parents. It's really hard to bite my tongue because some of the stuff his mom it grates on my nerves so bad that I just want to look at her and say, "Look what the fuck you've done to your son." And she's granted her relationship with her son has gotten better only because of me and because of our kids. If it wasn't for me and our kids together, I don't think their relationship would have been repaired because it was kind of okay. We've got to play nice with him if we want to have anything to do with our kids. Because yeah, and it just some of the things that she says and the way she acts, it grates on my nerves, and I have to, deep breath, just let it be because I'm not even going to start with that. It just I I don't have, and it just goes to show how draining it was because I fell asleep there for 2 or 3 hours because it was just I couldn't keep my eyes open. I was that tired. And then we got home last night, and the Karmic and two of my sons were going to go duck hunting. And of course, he keeps, keeps the light on. I'm sitting here trying to go to sleep in the bedroom, trying. Um, kept coming in here, turning the light on, rummaging through shit. I couldn't sleep, and I finally got some sleep. And then he comes home, and I wake up, and I take my 17-year-old to the store because he's taking a trip to Chicago with his theater troupe to watch a couple of shows. I think they're going to watch one of the shows. I think they're going to go watch is Phantom of the Opera. But I took him to get the stuff that he needed, and I get back and it's almost it's close to 6 o'clock, and the karmic is still 6 at night, still asleep from where he went that time. So I wake him up, and you know, and we ended up ordering pizza because 17-year-old's girlfriend was over here to open her Christmas gifts, and we just ordered pizzas, and he kept insinuating things, touching me, and I'm just like, no, no, no. Um, what we're gonna start with, and then he falls asleep, wakes up just while go to get ready to go hunting, trying to show me things, in a sly way because the pajama pants he had on, things were falling out. I just ignored it because it doesn't matter. You can stand there and show it to me all you want. I don't want anything to do with that no more. And then they left to go hunting, and here I am. I guess I'll ask. These are still kind of, yeah, that was kind of a mirror for me. But the eclipse energies are, you don't want to try to manifest with this eclipse, these eclipse energies. You want to finish out things that you've been working on before, which, yeah, I know it's getting about time to finally open my mouth and tell the karmic I'm done. I can't anymore. Yeah, Chris, I've played nice. I bought him a wood burner for Christmas because I know he's been wanting one. And okay, I need a one card for the Divine Masculine energies, please. Where is he at right now? But I'm played nice because I'm not gonna ruin my kids' Christmas. But I know he thinks because I did that things are starting to look better. That things are going to go back to the way they used to be. Nope. Like I've said before, you cut burn, that cord is gone. I'm not even interested in that. So it's time to speak up, say it, and move on. Move on with my life, whether it moves me towards my twin or not. You know, I just want to be happy. I would be happy with my twin, no doubt, but I can be happy on my own. I want my twin. I love my twin. I want to be with him more than anything. But I am learning that my own happiness is really what matters right now. Things will work out as they should. Cycles. Communication. Okay, so I'm not doing, my typical, messages from feminine and all of that. I'm just going to do some divine masculine energies because I'm done explaining how I do things the way I do. them to people. Um, so you cannot get people, explain things to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. So um, Karmic has been, bitching and griping about my oil business, which one of these days I will eventually put the link on, this. It's just, I'm still trying to keep my name off of this channel, and once I drop my essential oil link, you know, my name will be on this channel, and I'm not ready for that yet. But he's, bitching and griping about, well, you're not making any money on, and I'm not. Well, um, my dad has a booth at this little, it's kind of a flea market vendor fair. I can't, um, thing because he ends up buying out storage lockers that people have defaulted on payments. So he's got all of this stuff, he's got a bunch of action figures and different things that he's putting in there to sell. Well, he told me that, I can, if I want to, just help him, pay for the booth, you know, which it's not a whole lot for the monthly rent on these booths. But if I want to help, just, help pay part of the booth rental each month, and I could put some of my oils in there to sell. Karmic's known this. This was one of his. It was actually one of his ideas when I first approached him about doing the oils. That for me to get a booth at this little vendor's fair, because there's not an essential oils vendor there. And he, at the time, oh, that's a great idea. Yeah, we can do that. Well, now that it's come down to it, and I'm going to have to spend the money to get the stock to put there to sell, he's bitching and whining and complaining. You're not buying all, and like, seriously, it was partly your idea for me to do this, and now you're backing out of it. Um, so yeah, I'm going to do it. I am I get each month. Well, I can order more before my monthly isn't my essential rewards goes through, but I am going to set up my essential rewards program for this month to order several of my cheaper oils, like my Vitality line oils, and just the general favorites, lavender, cedarwood, vetiver. There's general favorites that I know a lot of people. I might even put some thieves oil in there that I know would sell, and I'm going to buy them, and I'm going to label them, and I'm going to take them up there to my daddy's booth, like my dad told me I could. And if he doesn't like me spending that money, well, I'd say he could kiss my ass, but I don't want to touch it. So he can just vete a la mierda, go fuck yourself. Yeah. And, it's already going on 24 minutes. I didn't intend on being on here for this long. But so, okay. I'm going to check a few things real quick. Hmm. I'm gonna go back to that in a minute because then my energy's low. I'm tired. Okay, we do have um I do have my Gods and Titans deck out. Uh, we have um you know, energy check in. I asked what's going on with them. We have cycles, which I know it's a quiet cycle again, but this time, quite honestly, with my own masculine, I know why. It is the holidays, and part of the reason why I haven't been doing videos is family, and it causes a lot of conflict. But it is a quiet cycle, but we have Helios that's cycles. It is a quiet cycle right now, but at the same, but we have Hermes, communication, fast flying communication. It's coming. Um, they're just finding the words. Um, and then for his headspace, and yes, I heard things, but I'm my brain's fighting with. In his headspace, we've got the Eight of Wands, fast progress after delays, travel. Um, Travel has been coming up a lot lately, and um, a lot of the masculines are really thinking about my own twin. I know for certain is thinking about this. He's got work coming up that he will be traveling again. So it may be towards the feminine. It may just be for work or, the holidays, things like that. But there is a lot of travel has been popping up a lot lately, not in just my readings, but Ophelia's readings as well. And Melissa, when she was pulling cards for it, when she was on one of our lives, it was popping up for her as well. And then the heart space, we have um, the Wheel of Fortune, which again, this is a new cycle commencing. Cycles come up when the Gods and Titans, but progress. He is awakening to this connection more and more every day. He's working towards being the man that you think he is, the man that he wants to be for you, and he's making progress with it. It may be slow progress at times, but slow progress is better than moving backwards, quite honestly. And then the physical, we have the temperance card, which um, he's patience, moderation, compromise, balance, healing. He is trying. There is something in his life that he is trying to come to a compromise with and healing out. It could be, custody issues. It could be property issues. There is some kind of compromise he is having to come to with someone, but it's coming. It's coming. It's the progress is there. And then for what's blocking him, yeah, is a sense of anxiety, despair, feelings of oppression. It's the Nine of Swords. Something that's blocking him is someone in his life. He's feeling trapped in a situation. It's Three of Swords. Was on the bottom of the deck. Yeah, confirmation there. They're fighting with karmics. Um, and they are fighting to find a way out. Some of them, it's not as cut and dry as okay, I don't want to be with you no more. I'm done. For some, my own twin, if he does that due to his um status in this country. He is here legally, I will say that. He is here on a work visa. Um, if he were to say that to her, they do have children, she could, you know, be spiteful, fear. He's he's fearing right now that he's going to lose his kids. That was just um so she could be spiteful and take his kids away. So the destroyer, yeah, she better not because that would destroy him. So he is, you know, working, finding compromise for that. But there is a lot of fighting going on, and he is very non-confrontational. So he is trying to be a Libra, very balanced in his approach to doing what he knows he needs to do. And a lot of masculines are doing that as well. Trying to be fair about things, but these a lot of these karmics are not playing fair at all. They are being spiteful, manipulative, vengeful, little. Yeah, I'm not gonna say what I want to on that one because, quite honestly, I don't know the karmic in his situation well enough to make those judgments. It's just what I feel when he makes comments about her, which he doesn't do often. He doesn't talk about her a whole lot, but it's just something I feel that she's doing because he has told me she has cheated on him before. He told me this the very first time you know we met. But I just feel like she is being very manipulative of the situation right now, and they if you come across this, I understand, and that's why I don't push. I don't ask for things that I know you cannot give right now because I will not be responsible for you losing those boys. I will not be responsible for that heartache because I know what those boys mean to you. And I won't. When it's our time, it'll be our time. I'm not going to rush divine timing. I'm not going to rush us into something that we'd end up regretting because of the fallout from it. Kids should not be collateral damage, and I won't have it. But then we have um, this makes me feel really uh and the energy that's coming off this card right now. It's just, we have this is I did do a message. Yeah, no, I said I wasn't gonna do this, but I did do a message from the masculine to the feminine, and it says hope. Stay positive. The worst is behind you. Look up to the light. And that is something the spirit is always asking us to do. Look to the light. And the masculine is now starting to understand that as well. But the worst is behind us. We are working towards a peaceful, loving, and unconditional loving union together in the light. And I say that, and my screen starts getting brighter. But he knows that there's the light. The light. We've lit. Who cares about the light at the end of the tunnel? We've lit that bitch up ourselves. The hope is there. The love is there. The masculines know this. They are working hard to get to us to make it. To they're trying to understand things that, quite frankly, a lot of the feminines have known for a while. And all I can say is masculines do put the pride aside. Do not be afraid to reach out for help. Ask your feminine because a lot of the feminines are just not just itching to explain some of the things that we know, some of the things that we understand to you. You just have to ask. Put the pride, put the ego aside, ask for help. The feminines have been doing that. A lot of if if the a lot of the help that I've gotten, and I've made some wonderful connections through, the YouTube community. Um, I have come to understand a lot more about this journey since I've met some of my vibe tribe, and it's helped keep me sane. It's helped, from staying up all night crying my eyes out because why is he doing this to me? I understand more about it now, and if the masculines would, ask for the help like the feminines have, and I have a viewer, and I'm not sure who it is, but hello, I'm not going to be on here much longer because I'm quite tired, and I was actually taking advantage of the fact that that the karmic has taken off of that pattern. So I'm just kind of, oh, I don't know who you are. Hello. Um, but masculines, do not be afraid to ask for help, whether it's from your own feminine, whether it's from some, it's like I tell my masculine, when something interests me, I research it. And that's how I found out some things about my own masculine that he hadn't quite been ready to tell me. And I laugh at it now, and he laughs at it too, because when I did this, he said, that's kind of stalkerish. And that's what I'm telling him. So, well, I tend to, research things that interest me. Basically, my way of telling him, yes, I'm interested in you. I really like you. But whether it's from, like I said, whether it's from your feminine or through, research on the twin flame journey, but the thing, the internet has become so saturated with, you know, different things about the twin flame journey. Some people will say you could have more than one twin, or, arguments over the runner chaser, separation. There's so much out there now that it's going to boil down to your own discernment, your own intuition, what you believe. The twin flame journey means different things to different people, and honestly, the best person to help you, because they are you, is your feminine. Ask her. I I have told my masculine, about the twin flame thing. It's been over a year now since I told him. We don't talk about it a whole lot. And he's wanting to talk. We don't talk about it a whole lot, and yeah, I lost the viewer because I'm not really, yeah, sitting there saying hello repeatedly after I said hi. Um, but we just one day we talked about it just a very little bit. He knows we had the connections there. We've both known since we first started talking. It was just an instantaneous, we stayed up all night that night talking when we first started, when he first messaged me online. But he knows the connections there. He's read a little bit about it. He read some of about it that day because I asked him, look up the term twin flame, read a little bit about it, and we'll discuss it later. And we didn't really talk about it a whole lot, but he did what I asked. He looked it up. He read a little bit about it, and he come back. He said that sounds like pretty much what we are. And I told him, I said, I've known about this for a while. I said, I've been wanting to tell you, but I was scared. I didn't know how you would react because there's been times where I'd tell him something. He said, well, I think you're being too much. And he'd shut down on me. And I told him this. I said, I was nervous about telling you this. He said, I understand that. He said, and I'm working on that. He said, working towards, being more understanding because he knows that I trust him. He knows that there's times that I'm going to tell him things that I wouldn't typically tell anybody else, that I wouldn't be comfortable telling anybody else. And he's gotten so much better at being understanding about that, with the exception of when the karmic attacked me um, back in August, which I completely understand why he got stressed out over that. And makes me love him even more, honestly. But where was I going with that? Oh, yeah. But and he's working on, getting better. And we have taken a few steps back from that because last November was the first time he ever actually said he loved me, and it took me by surprise when he said it. And I told him, I said, "You realize what you just said?" He said, "Yes, I know what I said, and I meant it." And for a while, we would say it, and then he kind of pulled back a little bit, and he explained to me why. He said, when I say it, feeling leads to thinking, and the thinking doesn't stop. Meaning, he says he loves me, he feels it, and then he starts thinking about, what it would be like if we were truly together. And it's hard for him right now because he knows the consequences of those actions right now. It may not be that way. She may not be a, spiteful, um I don't want to call her bitch. Like I said, she may not be the spiteful bitch that a lot of the karmics are. So, but he still has that fear of losing them. So he said, when I start feeling, I start thinking, and then it scares me. So we did back off on that a lot, but we say it in other ways. We don't actually, come right out and say, I love you. There's other ways we say, are you okay? Have you eaten today? Drive safe, be careful. There are so many other ways that everybody can say I love you without actually using those three words. Because quite honestly, sometimes those words get overused. The karmic was and still is bad about it. Just saying it just to say, just because, in the silence, just to have something to say. I cannot remember. Actually, I think the last time I told him I loved him was before he went back for his hernia surgery. And that was in July. I think that was the last time. I'm not gonna say words I don't mean. And that was one of the things my twin first told me he loved me. I told him, I said, I know that you have for a while, but I wasn't going to push for you to say it. I knew once you were comfortable enough that you would say it. He said, yeah. He said, those are big words to say. And we have to be 100% sure about something like that. And I told him, I said, I am 100% sure. I said, I love you. There's no doubt in my mind. And he said, I love you too. But with the karmic, it's just he gets mad because I don't say it. And do I love the karmic? Yes, I do. Not in that way anymore. I love him for the fact that he is the father of my children. I will always hold love in my heart for him. Does that mean I have to stay in this toxic environment and keep having to deal with, the energy drains, the wondering what he's going to get pissed off about next thing? No. And that's what a lot of people need to understand. You can love somebody, but at a distance. You don't have to keep them in your life to love them. So, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this reading. I was not planning on being on here for this long, but I'm going to try to get some sleep. We've got some other stuff we've got to do today. Yay. But uh, I should be back before, before New Year's Eve. But if I'm not, you know, Happy New Year 2020. It's a number 4 year. I'm going to try to plan to do a reading either the night before New Year's Eve or quite possibly on New Year's Eve. I don't know yet. I don't know the karmic's work schedule, and he doesn't either. And like I said, if he's off work, I'm not going to do a video with him here. He doesn't know about my channel. He doesn't know about Ophelia's channel. I have kept Emerald Gem's channel name away from him for a reason, because there's things I've talked about on there that I don't need him knowing about yet. But y'all have a great night, day, whatever time it is when you watch this. Thank you for watching, listening to me ramble. If you've made it this far, y'all have a great day.